All right, everyone. Welcome to my magical botanical series. Today we are painting this beautiful Belladonna artwork right here. But we are also going to be turning it into a spell. So thank you for joining me. And I hope you learned something. And most importantly, I hope you have fun. I am filming this on Wednesday, August 20th. Sorry, Wednesday, October 20th. So today is actually a full moon in Aries. So if you are doing it today, then congratulations, you have the moon's energy behind you as well. So, oops. I hope everyone has an intention that they picked. And a corresponding tea as well. So I have my paper taped down that we're going to use, and I have the tea that I'm going to be using, as well as a cup and some boiling water over on the stove. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to set our intention and align it, as well as charge our herbs with it. So you can use a tea bag with this as well. I am using loose leaf tea. So I'm going to pour some of that into my hand. And the type of tea that you pick does really help with the correspondence and harnessing the same energy that you would, that your intention aligns with. So personally, I am doing more of a prosperity spell. So I picked a mint green tea because mint is often used for money. Um, if you wanted self-love or to promote love in your house, I would choose rose. If you wanted to a peaceful home, lavender would work really well. If you wanted like transformation or new beginnings, something aligning with fire would work really well. So chai, because you got your cinnamon in there, you got your cloves, you got your cardamom. All of those are very fire elements. They're all herbs that align with the fire element. So that's just something to think about. So now that we have our hands, I want you to make sure that your feet are on the ground for this. And I'm going to cover it up. And we are going to just do a little meditation to align ourselves with our intention and with the energies and with the herbs. So I want you to inhale and exhale. And inhale into your stomach. And exhale, pulling your stomach in towards your spine. Inhale into your stomach. Exhale, pull navel towards spine. Inhale. And exhale. Always through your nose. Now I want you to keep inhaling and exhaling through your stomach. And on your next exhale, send your energy down from your spine, send a taproot down into the earth. Send it into land spirit. Send it to the core of the universe or of the earth itself. Feel yourself anchored to this giant earth that holds us all to it. Now inhale Exhale. On your next exhale, I want you to send your energy through your crown chakra up into the universe. See it stretch through the sky, through the Earth's atmosphere, break through the atmosphere, past the moon, into the cosmos, and anchor that your personal energy into the cosmos. Upon your next inhale, inhale the energy from the earth up through your taproot, up your spine, and into your heart chakra. And let it remain there. Do that one more time. Feel yourself connected to the earth. Now, upon your next inhale, inhale the universal energy from that anchor point down through your crown chakra, through your third eye chakra, through your heart chakra, your throat chakra, and into your heart chakra. Feel it anchored in your heart chakra, mixing with the earth's energy. And now breathe it, exhale it into your palm of your hands, into your herbs. Upon each inhale, inhale the energy from both the earth and the universe to your heart center. And exhale that energy through your arms, through your hands, through your palms into your tea. And as you're doing this, visualize your intention. Really see it. What does it look like? What does it sound like? Are you having conversations about it? Are you speaking? What does it sound like around you while your intention is complete, is successful? What does it smell like? Are there any scents? Are you eating anything, drinking anything in this moment? With each exhale, inhale, you are pulling that energy from the universe and from the earth into your heart center. And with each exhale, you're pushing it into your tea. What does it feel like when you achieve this intention, when this intention becomes true? Are you hugging someone? Do you feel a giant smile spread across your face? Are you indoors, outdoors? What's the weather like? Really put yourself in your place. Feel it come true because it is coming true. And now smile and feel great gratitude because it has happened. Now we're going to take 3 deep breaths and draw in that energy and push it out into our herbs forcefully. Inhale. Last time. Thank you. And now you can pour that tea, put it into your cup, and pour hot water over it to start letting it steep. Now I'm going to set that aside. And as that steeps, I am going to draw out. I'm going to move it to the side so you can see it a bit better. There we go. So I am going to draw out, there we go, my painting. I'm using a mechanical pencil. You can use whatever pencil you want, just press it very lightly. I'm going to be adding very light marks, and they're just guide points. I'm not really going to be drawing anything in depth. So I'll begin. I think I'm going to start by drawing out this lettering on the side. Happy with that. All right. So now I'm going to draw out, I'm just going to start really figuring out where my main shapes are. So I'm going to have one here, and then I have a big leaf here, and another one right here. Then I have some smaller ones in front of it. Here. There. This guy comes out. So very, very rough sketch. Let's see. This guy comes up. Don't like where this is. I'm happy with that. Perfect. Let's set this aside. We will come back to that too. I'll leave you that reference once we start actually painting it for you to view. But I'm going to do it on the other side. That'll work. Okay. So now that our tea has ended steeping, I'm going to pull out my tea. And I'm actually going to separate it right away because I want some of this tea myself, because I want to ingest it as well. It's always good to, if you're making tea or anything, take it internally as well. So now I have the cup that I'm going to be painting out of, which is this, and I have my own cup which I'm setting aside, and that's going to be for drinking. All right, so now we can get started. Oops. So the first thing I'm going to do after setting aside everything is I'm going to mix my background tea color. So with your number 8 brush, or the largest round brush that you have, you're going to take your burnt sienna, which looks kind of like a terracotta brown right here. You're going to put him in his own tray, little area. And for myself personally, actually that's not how I wanted to do that sentence. So if you're having a hard time getting the paint to stay in the tray, like if you're just not getting a lot of pigment that stays there, wet your brush and then do like a scraping motion off to the side, and that will just remove all the pigment from your brush. And then I'm going to take my yellow ochre, which is right here. I'm going to mix the two together so that I have this like coffee with some creamer in it color right here. A little more. Perfect. All right, now that my color's mixed, I'm going to move this for now because we don't need it. And I'm going to take my largest brush. I have a flat wash brush. We're going to take that and grab that coffee or that tea and just cover the whole thing in tea so that it gets really nice and shiny. And this is a wet on wet technique because we are wetting down our paper and then adding wet paint to it. Now that this is completely dry, I'm going to take that, I'm going to actually take my flat wash brush again, wet it, pick up some of that, and I'm going to start covering the whole thing in that tea colored paint we just mixed. Now, as that dries, or before that dries, we're going to take our number 8 brush again, pick up that color, and just drop paint around the edges. So don't pull it, because when you pull it, the color doesn't sit there as nicely. I want you to just kind of like dab it and drop it there. Feel free to make all your edges different from each other. Feel free to add more color in like certain areas. And now we're going to let that dry. And while that dries, feel free to put your hands around it and really connect once again with your intention. And push that energy into your paper. I also wanted to take some moment to talk about using magic in art, because art is such a meditative process that to use it for magic, I mean, it makes sense and aligns with it perfectly. This just kind of happened to me. I kind of just started incorporating it because I work with watercolors. I had to figure out how to use like correspondences with my painting. And the easiest ways is to infuse herbs and teas because I work a lot with magic or with herbs myself. If I were using acrylics or oils, because it's more of like a thicker, textured painting, I would probably incorporate the actual herbs into it, or I would crush a bunch of stones and make like stone dust out of it, and mix that with my mediums. But with watercolor, I'm stuck with just water, so I have to use waters in its different forms. So coffee, I like to use. I like to use different inks to paint with. So like dragon's blood ink, bat's blood ink. Um, I like to use like I'll create my own moon water, my own solar water. I will collect like if there's a big storm, I will collect storm water, which is really good for like transformation. If there is lightning in the sky, I will also collect lightning storm water. I'll like mark them and then I'll mark like the dates of when I collected it, what the lunar phase was at, where it was in the sky, et cetera, et cetera. Hailstorm is a good one. Maybe like fresh snow would be like a fresh snowstorm or fresh snow water, I would feel would be really good for like new beginnings or protection. Um, Protection for sure, because like that fresh snow always gives me that like really calm and comforting feeling. If I were to take it a step further, I would make my tools very sacred. Like maybe if I'm doing magical work, you can dedicate a specific set of brushes to only working with magic. You could consecrate them and bless them and charge them with an intent. That would be a way that I would do it. Um, you could also ask your ancestors. So I'll use my paintings as like offerings. I'll use my paintings as protection. So if I like hang them on walls or whatnot, then often they'll be like protection talismans. Blessings is another good one to keep around your house. And using watercolor paper in any like spell instance. Like even if I'm like writing out an intention or I need something to burn, if I'm writing out a letter and I want to burn it, if to release it, if I'm writing a petition to my ancestors or a deity or a god, I will use watercolor paper because it's um, created out or it's made with cotton instead of whatever normal printer paper is made out of. So, because my belief is that my magical tools, I want them as the least amount of processed and manufactured as possible. So I will often use watercolor paper because of that cotton feel, because I feel like it's closer to natural fibers and materials than just normal lined paper from uh, a notebook. But I do have a magical journal, and I will also use that because that magical journal just holds a ton of energy itself. Okay, still drawing a bit. I'm going to go in and just add some more fun areas. So now that we are this is almost dry and ready for the next step, this hot water that we have, our hot tea water, I am going to put an ice cube in it to cool it down. I'm going to cool my tea down. Um, and the reason I'm doing that is because when you are working with hot water, it sets colors and it sets dyes. Think about your laundry. Whenever you want to remove a stain from some clothing, you are going to wash it in cold water, and the cold water will lift that off of it. So we are going to apply that same principle to our pigments as well as the cotton paper, because we want to be able to lift. With the base layer, that was fine. There was no problem in that. You got some really cool effects because it was so hot. But now that we are going to lift out areas and stuff, we're going to want to start working with cold water. Normally, I never work with hot water when it comes to watercolor. I will always work with cold water. I find I get much better results, and it's easier to work with because, like I said, it doesn't, when you put down the color, it's not going to stain the paper. You're going to be able to lift it out. So I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to blow dry this a bit just to get it properly dry. All right, so now we are going to mix our green. So with your cold water, it's nice and cold, I am going to pick, this like olive green right here. I'll put it in his own little area. And I'm going to pick this bright green, mix the two together. Until I have this nice, rich green. And then I'm going to take one of my smaller brushes. I'm going to use a number 4 round for this. Wet it, just tap it off, and then I'm gonna put that right here so you can see where you're going to put it. So now we are going to wet the areas that we want green. So I'm going to work from I'm right-handed, so I'm working from my left side over because I don't want to like drag my hand through it. So I'm going to wet these leafy areas, much like we did the background. We're going to treat it basically the same way. just gonna do those 4. Now I'm gonna add some color. And while you're painting, just connect, if possible, with your intention again. So that's going to be the trick throughout all of this, is really feeling your intention and allowing it to flow the entire time through this painting. All right, now I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to do that again to more of my painting. So I'm moving on to this little bulb area. Add some green. Need to plug my phone in. Clean my brush again. I'm gonna go to this big leaf down here. And I'm gonna go to this one. Pick up my color. Clean off my brush again. I'm gonna move on to up here. And lastly, I'm gonna go down here. Again, thinking about your intention the entire time. Really connect with it in your painting. And I have to mix more of this green. I'm going to do that right now. So again, I'm taking this moss green or this olive green. And I'm taking this brighter green right here. Okay, now I'm taking a thin brush. So I have a script brush. You could easily continue with this number 4 if you wanted to, but I'm going to use my script brush and I'm going to wet it, dry it off so that's nice and damp, pick up some of that green color, and we're going to do the stem. Now I'm going to take this number 4, I'm going to wet my brush, I'm going to dry it off, and then I'm going to just run it along and pick up some of this color so that we have more of a gradient effect going on down here. This is what I mean by lifting. So if we were to use hot water, we wouldn't be able to do this. Perfect. Now, as this dries, I'm going to make the purple that we're going to use for these leaves. Again, I'm taking my large 8 brush. I'm going to pick up and cleaning it. Then I'm going to personally take this purple right here. And as you can see, it's very purple. If you don't have a purple, you can always mix a red or a pink, like an alizarin crimson with like a cobalt blue. That always makes a really nice color. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this brown to it. So this one I've got right here. Perfect. Now we do have to wait for these areas to dry before we can move on and add the purple, because if we add an area that's wet next to another area that's wet, it's going to bleed through, and then you'll get a mix of colors, and that's not what we want. We want like a really nice separation between the two colors. So you can either choose to sit and charge up your intention more, or you can take a blow dryer to it, which I will do in a few minutes. So again, inhale both the universal and the earth energy into your heart center. And exhale it with your intention out onto your paper. I'm going to start blow drying, so I'll mute myself again. Okay. This part is still wet up here, but that's okay because we are working down here. So again, I'm going to take my brush, clean it, damp it off, pick up my purple color. I am going to start over here. I'm gonna add purple, more purple just in the tips. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of green and I'm going to add some green over here so that we get more of like a bleeding effect with the two colors. And do that over here. So again, we have the tips. I want a lot of color. I'm picking up some green. Now we're going to move on and mix a shading color. So we're going to start mixing the shading of the green. All right, so I'm picking up my number 8. Picking up that moss green again. We're going to make the exact same green. So I'm picking up that olive green. Then I'm going to pick up the other green. So this guy right here. Ooh, this guy right here. Perfect. Then I'm going to pick up a cobalt blue. Start adding him to the mix. Actually, I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go more of a navy blue. Perfect. Now I'm going to start adding the shading areas. So where would shading? So we clearly have 4 leaves here. I'm going to go in And then I'm going to take it clean, my clean number 4 brush, damp it off, and then I'm going to scrub at the edges so that they're not as harsh lines, to give it more of a gradient and a softer edge. Continue to pull in your intention and out into your painting as you layer. So this method is called the dry brush because we are just going in to the dry paper and just adding detail. And it gives us a lot more control than the wet on wet. So the next thing I'm going to do is with a very thin brush on the right hand side of each of the stem, I'm going to add a shaded color. And this will help differentiate the stem and like help it look like a 3D object. Near the bottom, I'm just gonna again pull that. And start adding veins. Now I'm going to add, I'm going to start creating some deeper shaded colors. So I'm going to create that purple again, right here. So I'm grabbing that purple. Grabbing that purple, and then I'm going to go right to this dark blue, this very dark blue, and mix the two together. And then I'm adding a little bit of this brown, a little more than that. Okay. So I get this really deep plum purple. And I'm going to start adding my shading. Softening the edges. Perfect. And I'm also going to create this dark blue right there. So I'm going to take my big brush again. So I'm going to mix my dark blue now. So I'm taking this dark blue, which is the darkest blue in my palette. I'm going to put it up here. And then I'm going to mix it with black. So I'm just going to grab some black. I'm going to continue adding black until I get the color that I am looking for. And I'm happy with that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make that area where I don't want any color going. And then I'm going to color the rest of it. I'm going to make sure to pool a lot of it near this edge back here. Now that I have that color, I'm going to make a third darker color for the leaves themselves. Or yes, a third one, because these two are the first base color and then this is the second darkest color. So then I'm going to mix a whole new color. Same green. And then I'm going to add a dark blue to it.
And I'm gonna add some black. Perfect. Nice deep blue right there, or deep green, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna go in and make sure that I really deepen all of my shaded areas. Again, don't forget to really charge and think about your intention. Okay, I'm actually going to make one deeper color. So I'm going to take this color right here. I'm going to take a bit of this dark blue. Together. And this is going to be true dark shades. Okay, so the final step is to add this your writing. I'm gonna try and lift this area one more time. Okay, so I'm taking my script brush and I'm gonna dunk it into that dark blue. Ooh. Shoot. So loud. So we are going to take our loaded paintbrush with that dark blue, and we are just going and you can do this with, if you want, feel free to do this with a pencil or a marker as well, or even a pen, because I know that painting or lettering can be pretty challenging, especially if you are not used to painting and using a paintbrush. And there you go. Thank you so much for joining me while we painted this beautiful Belladonna, as well as a spell. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you relaxed. And I know I had a lot of fun. So thanks again, and I will see you next time. Take care.